Hey guys, Maximum RC coming at you today, and this is going to be the second episode of a new series I'm going to call Toy Grade Teachings. In this series, we're going to take a little more in-depth look into toy grade RCs. How can we repair them? What kind of upgrades are for it? And just in general, how they work. Now, in theory, there's absolutely nothing stopping us from putting in hobby grade components into a toy grade RC. There's really nothing stopping us from doing that. And we're going to work our way up to that. But right now, we're going to focus on the same RC we were working on last time. And that is the RC Live Wires FPV vehicle. Now, if you guys remember this car, this is the one that we took apart the front right here, and where we saw how the steering works and basically what all the steering components are in this fella. What we're gonna do in this episode, we're gonna make this waterproof. Now, I'm not concerned about the motor because the motor is just a simple brush motor. If this gets ruined, we can easily replace it. I'm not concerned about the steering motor for the same reason. If this gets ruined for whatever reason, it can be replaced. We're gonna take a look into the PCB, the little green board right here. Water gets into this, that's gonna be bad news for this car. So, how are we gonna do this? I'll show you. This right here is acrylic conformal coating. Now, this coating can be applied to any electrical component and it'll make the component waterproof. I have made other videos explaining how this guy works, and in one of the videos I actually went ahead and I waterproofed the receiver, which by the way, it's still going strong at this moment. This right here, this little bottle retails for around $20, and it's enough for, well, let's put it this way, I've had this little bottle for about, I want to say 2 years at this point, and yeah, it's still pretty full. So what we're going to go on ahead is, we're going to take the PCB board off, and in short, we're just going to take a brush, and in reality, you can use any brush. We're going to take one of these brushes, dip it into the conformal coating, and just brush it onto the PCB board. That's it. Let's get to it. Alright, so to get started, we're going to go on ahead, we're going to take, yes, this is one of those handy dandy screwdrivers that some of the RTRs include. Just to show how everything comes in handy at one point. We're going to take off the one little screw that holds on this board. I do have a pair of tweezers because they do make life a little bit easier here. Now, we want to make sure we're not going to lose this, so we're going to put this in our handy dandy little toolkit right here. Close it up. That screw's not getting lost. Now we're going to take the conformal coating and we're going to take our brush. Now this is just a regular paint brush from any dollar store will do, Walmart, Michaels, whatever. We're going to grab it, open up the conformal coating just like so. We're going to very gently take up the PCB board. We don't want to ruin it. We don't want to be too rough because we do not want to burst, or we don't want to break any of the solderings. Otherwise, that means more work for us. So what we're going to do, we're going to flip the board around a little bit like so. Now we're going to grab the conformal coating, dip our brush in there just like that, and we're just going to go on ahead and just brush the coating onto it. You can brush it onto everything. It's not gonna damage anything. You just gotta watch for the connectors, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. I'm gonna grab the conformal coating, the PC board right here. Just gonna brush on the conformal coating just like that. Okay, now we're gonna put the conformal coating to the side. We're gonna bring it over here. Now here, what I have, as you can see, That's a UV light. So we're gonna turn on the UV light real quickly. Take a look. Make sure that it's fully coated. I see a little part that I missed. I'm gonna hit that just like that, and now we can see that every single inch of this PCB board has been coated. Okay, now that that's set, since this is the underside, we can just go on ahead. I'm going to take one more look at it here. Yeah, I think that's good. Should be pretty good right now. Okay. Now we're going to go on ahead and we're going to put the board back on. Again, we want to be very gentle. We don't want to damage anything here. Okay, we're going to put it back on. Just like that. And we're going to, because it keeps popping off and we're not going to be doing anything else to take it off, we're going to grab the screw and we're just going to put the screw back in there. Okay, now that the screw's back in, the board is back on. Now we're gonna take our brush once again. And now we're gonna do the top side. Okay, we want to move the cables out of the way, but gently. We don't want to break any of the soldering connections. And now we're going to grab the conformal coating once more. We're going to dip our brush on here. And once again, we're just going to go on ahead and just like that. Now, as you can see, that's exactly why we're using the black light or the UV light. You can kind of see the difference where I've put the conformal coating and when there's no conformal coating. Want this all coated nicely, especially where we have all the solderings, all the solderings in general, the connectors. We gotta finesse them a little bit, because if we use conformal coating on any connector, it's gonna, well, as the name states, it's gonna coat them. And what's gonna happen with that is it's not gonna have a proper connection at all. So whatever you plug into it will not work. Okay, I think that ought to do it. Now, if we really wanna be fancy, we could hit the motor connectors, but I think that should be fine, because I don't want to risk ruining the motors or anything like that. I'm just gonna grab it a little bit and we're just gonna hit the edges of the PCB board like so. Okay. Now that everything has been coated, we can go on ahead and close the coating, the conformal coating. I mean, just look at how that thing glows. So cool. Okay, now we're just gonna do a quick little run through of it. I see one place that it could use a little more of a coating right there. Yeah, right there, and there it is. That's what I'm talking about. Perfect. And by the way, take a look at this, alright? Right now, even where I actually, if we're going ahead and we're going to just put a little coating just on that plastic so you guys can see right there. Put it in the front too a little bit. Okay. Now, this one of the things that I like about conformal coating, alright? You can see how this guy looks. Right, it looks kind of whitish now. But once we turn off the UV light, the conformal coating practically disappears. Okay, so we do have one more board that we gotta do right here. This is where the camera connects to, and it's actually hidden inside this little cubby right here where that connector goes, and you just plug the camera in through here. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna grab the conformal coating here. Okay. Now this is what I mean about connectors. We do not want to get any coating inside the actual USB port. So we're just gonna go around it. So we're gonna grab a tiny little bit of conformal coating and turn on our UV light once again. Okay. Just very carefully, we want to coat everything here. Want to make sure we get the nooks and crannies, but we don't want to go inside of it. Now I know this is going to be very difficult to see on camera, and I do apologize. Now we're going to grab number 2, other side, and do the same. We're just going to brush it on here, just like so. Now we're just gonna go on the edges a little bit. Not that the edges are neat, but you know, why not? Again, just be careful you don't hit the actual connector. Now we're just gonna take a quick look, make sure we didn't miss anything on here. Okay, it looks good to me. Set it down very gently just so that it can dry. And there you have it, guys. It's all set. It's all ready. The car is waterproof now. We can record in the snow, we can record in the rain, we can record on the ice. It doesn't matter. If water gets into this car, I'm not one bit concerned because now it is officially waterproof. I've used conformal coating on receivers before, especially on the ones for crawlers, and again, I've made a video about that. I've sunk that crawler into the river once or twice, and a receiver is still in good shape. So that's all there really is to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we're gonna see what else we can figure out for toy grade teachings. This was Maxman RC. You guys have a good night.